Rights at risk.
We are talking about millions of students that are about to have their rights stripped away and their voice stripped away.
A local school board sounds off on the passing of Bill 33. Plus, financial help for children left behind.
It's a tragedy, and it's something that we can do something about.
Impaired drivers could be forced to pay child support to victims' families. And accepting referrals.
This is not a journey that you have to take on all on your own.
The region's Heart Hub opens to those voluntarily seeking help.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. After the Ford government banned speed cameras, many municipalities are left with costly equipment they can't use. Now they're scrambling to find new ways to repurpose their cameras. But what's happening here in Windsor? CTV's Travis Fortnum says the city hasn't actually spent money on cameras just yet, correct?
Yeah, that's right, Stephanie. Windsor was preparing to roll out a couple of automated speed cameras, but never got that far. The city did spend money on a different tool, 5 devices called armadillos. They're these thingies. They're meant to track real-time traffic data and help decide where cameras should eventually go.
This is a modern tool that's digital in its application to analyze what's going on in a particular neighborhood and to help inform the decision-making process around the types of resources that we would deploy in neighborhood given that data.
Councillor Kieran McKenzie says armadillos are about the size of a small toolbox and sit on roads or near intersections quietly collecting speed and traffic volume data. They don't take photos and they don't identify drivers. They simply log how fast cars are moving, similar to a police radar gun. The city bought 5 of them, each costing about $5,000, and they can be picked up and redeployed anywhere in the city within minutes. And even though the province has now shut the door on automated speed cameras, the data from these devices will still shape enforcement and safety work.
It's a tool that we're going to be able to use to be able to measure speed across the entire community, so it very much aligns with our Vision Zero processes, where we want to make sure that the decisions that we're making in order to develop or to deploy resources and to do whatever measures we should undertake in parts of the city where there are some traffic-related issues, that we're basing that on the data that we're collecting.
Just to be clear, this doesn't affect red light cameras. Those are still operating and still issuing tickets. This change only shuts down the move toward speed enforcement cameras, but the city says it'll keep using these armadillos to spot trouble areas on Windsor roads. Stephanie.
Okay, good to know. Travis Fortnum tonight. So here's our question of the day. Do you think Windsor should use speed cameras to monitor and collect data? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if the city should do more to beautify vacant spaces. Out of almost 1,100 votes, 72% say no. The province now is floating the idea of making impaired drivers pay child support if they're found responsible for the death of a child's parent or guardian. Similar legislation does exist in Texas. Now, the Ford government says it's exploring the idea for Ontario. CTV's Beth McDonnell reports.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
In Ontario, in 2021, 182 people died because of impaired driving. And today, it's still the leading cause of death on the province's roads.
The victims, quite frankly, the children who are left behind, can be more protected.
The Ford government is working on new measures that would require impaired drivers to pay child support if a child's parent or guardian is killed.
We're going to talk to the justice partners, talk to the federal government, talk to other jurisdictions, and we're going to find what's going to work best, and then we will take action on it.
The government says it's looking for ways to ease the burden from impaired driving tragedies and provide financial stability for children left behind.
If they can get it into law that this is an automatic thing if you're convicted for impaired driving causing death, then there's not a whole process to go through. That just becomes part of the penalty. So I don't see any negatives to it.
In 2023, the government says Texas introduced a requirement when impaired drivers kill a parent or guardian and are convicted of intoxication manslaughter, they must pay child support until the minor turns 18 or graduates high school. The leader of the opposition says the province needs to look at every tool available and will look at the proposal. But
honestly, This government's been in power for 8 years now, and they don't seem to have made much effort in that direction, unfortunately. I don't think, for example, that deciding to put booze in gas stations is probably the right approach to curbing drinking and driving.
We're seeing way too frequently individuals who are causing carnage in Ontario, and we're seeing children, we see reporters report on it, and it's a tragedy, and it's something that we can do something about.
The plan is to examine the Texas example and others in the hopes of making impaired drivers more accountable. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Bill 33, the Ford government's controversial education legislation, passed through Queen's Park today. It is set to receive royal assent tomorrow. Critics of the bill say it silences the voices of students, staff, and parents. Siobhan Morris reports.
I declare the motion carried.
Cheers and jeers as Bill 33 passes its last legislative hurdle. The process controversial because it skipped committee hearings, but the bill's content has sparked anger too.
Bill 33 is all about putting school boards back on track that fall off the rails.
The education minister can now more easily take over a school board, even if it isn't in financial trouble. A step he's considering with the Near North District School Board.
You have students who are being taught in a half-demolished high school because of decisions of a board. And anybody who suggests that the Minister of Education should allow that mess to continue is wrong.
Boards will have to take on school resource officers if their local police service has a program. Paul Calandra says that's about building relationships, not policing kids.
The workers united will never be defeated.
A crush of education workers piled onto the steps of Queen's Park. They've seen decision-making move behind closed doors at boards already under supervision.
And the fact that Calandra wants to make it even easier to take over, it is really scary.
There is an openness to more accountability for bad actors.
Maybe take those trustees out, but I don't think it's a one puzzle piece fits all. You take them all out and that's the solution.
But they argue that's not what really matters in this fight.
This is a distraction from the chronic underfunding.
An equation educators say has left their schools broken.
I have to bring in tissue from home so that the runny noses can be wiped off. I have to deal with kids that are biting, pushing, and kicking me.
The opposition leader says she doesn't trust the government to fix that.
They have created this mess, and I think right now what they should be focused on is how to properly fund our schools.
With not enough adults in schools.
Class sizes are too big. Special education's been starved by this government, and we have a mental health crisis.
The Minister of Education is still considering eliminating trustees entirely.
They're laying the groundwork for it, and that's to the detriment of parents and students.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Now, this is not welcome news for local trustees. Joining me with reaction to Windsor-Essex's two largest boards, Michelle Mosky.
Yeah, Stephanie, this legislation working its way through Toronto at Queen's Park came up last night here in Windsor as both big local school boards picked their board chair leaders for the upcoming school year. They did so knowing trustees could be pushed aside if, and it is a big if, they are taken over.
It's an attack on local democracy.
We may be endangered stewards.
I'm afraid for the future of public education.
A sobering realization for Gail Hatfield, who's been a trustee for 34 years. The Greater Essex Board is now recruiting 2 new trustees, knowing there might not be a job for them for long.
I don't want to see public school boards or any school boards being eliminated. That's what I want. I don't know what's going to happen.
Malik McCowie just started as a trustee in January after replacing elected trustee Sarah Sipkar. He's worried not only that he might soon be out of a job, but also that local voices could be silenced if this board is under supervision.
We are talking about millions of students that are about to have their rights stripped away and their voice stripped away.
McCowie told the board Tuesday student trustees with the 5 boards currently under supervision were not allowed to attend a recent conference.
It doesn't just clear the path for supervision, I think it completely annihilates it.
Under Bill 33, the ministry can take over a school board for, quote, matters of public interest, but it doesn't elaborate. It reads that the final decision is made by Minister of Education, Paul Calandra.
That's extremely unfortunate that the minister seems to be going down that path.
The Windsor-Essex Catholic Board Chair, Lisa Soulier, has been a trustee for 25 years. She admits the role has changed over the years and does believe Bill 33 is distracting from the real crisis in education, a lack of funding for special ed and transportation.
We have to provide education for all of our students. And when it comes to transportation, we can't just give kids 3/4 of a ride to school. If our funding is only going to cover 3/4 of a ride, we got to go all the way.
There's another locally impactful part of this bill. It gives the ministry and the minister final say on naming of new schools or changing the name of current ones. Stefanie, as you know, that issue about naming has been an issue here locally over the last couple of years. So just wanted to highlight that part.
Yeah, without a doubt. So the big question is it possible for the two big school boards here to be taken over?
That is the big question. I think that's the question that they're all wondering. And I asked that question. Neither school board has an answer to it. And then I further reached out to the Ministry of Education last night and again today. No response from the ministry about whether or not any of the school boards in Windsor-Essex, Chatham-Kent could potentially be taken over.
Well, we will eventually find out. Okay, Michelle Molesky, thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Now, at that Greater Essex board meeting, trustees accepted the resignation of Nancy Armstrong and then sparred over how to replace her and a former trustee, Ron LeClaire.
If your people there want to apply, let them apply. If they're the best candidates, then they'll be appointed. But can we not just work together tonight and do it the right way and move on, please? Otherwise, might be more vacancies.
The trustee debate went into circles on Tuesday. First, they voted down appointing someone through an interview process like they did last year. And they voted down giving the job to the runner-ups in the last election.
The most fair to the community is to, respect their election result. So once this trustee resigned, go to the next one, which has the most votes. I think that's more fair for the community.
This is the quickest way. They're qualified, from what I understand. One of them was a trustee during the last term before I came on. So,
and if they decline, we'd be setting it back further. So the matter of urgency is gone.
I can add an amendment. If they decline, we will go back to the other process.
Following a 15-minute break, trustees came back and voted unanimously in favor of seeking interested candidates in the community. Qualified people will be interviewed by the Board of Trustees, and the two best candidates chosen and sworn in by December 16th. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us now for a first look at the weather to look at clearer skies tonight.
Good evening, folks. We're talking about that ridge of high pressure still in place, but there will be a disturbance, and we can see it now. Some rain, of course, mixed in with some snow and even some ice pellets, freezing rain over northwestern Ontario. Increasing cloudiness now draped across Michigan, moving into southwestern Ontario as I speak, without the rain showers. However, Thursday night into Friday could be wet. I don't think a lot of rain, but some. And temperatures remain above seasonal as I project towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the weekend could be a sunny affair. I'll break it all down for you just ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Police are looking for 3 suspects accused of using fake money at a business in LaSalle. LaSalle police releasing these images today and asking for help identifying the suspects. Police say the incidents took place in the 58 and 5900 block of Malden Road between October 22nd and November 10th. Anyone with information is asked to call LaSalle police, their non-emergency line, or Crime Stoppers. Windsor police, meantime, seized almost $30,000 in drugs and cash following reports of people allegedly trafficking drugs near schools in Windsor's West End. When executing a search warrant at a home in the 3300 block of Sandwich Street, officers seized more than 23 grams of fentanyl and over $16,000 in cash. A 33-year-old and a 31-year-old, both with ties to the Greater Toronto area, are now facing charges. Windsor's Heart Hub, or the Homeless and Addiction Recovery Treatment Hub, is up and running, offering support to anyone voluntarily seeking help. And officials say it has already seen immediate results.
It's really taking someone from the very beginning of the process and seeing them through what will likely be a very long journey.
The Heart Hub had its soft launch at the end of September. Since then, it's had 45 visits from people seeking help.
Sometimes they feel vulnerable, they don't trust, they're scared. It's meeting them where they're at and getting them to trust the organizations and trust the service.
The Heart Hub is co-led by Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare, the House of Sauf Racine, and the Windsor-Essex Community Health Centre, bringing together multiple community organizations to help support individuals aged 16 and older facing homelessness, addiction, and mental health concerns. The Heart Hub was supposed to be operational in April, but that was delayed.
The margin of error has to be zero. So when you launch a healthcare initiative, a new program or service, you've got to get it right from the onset.
The province committed $18.5 million to Windsor for the 3-year pilot project. That money, around $6 million per year, will be distributed to several organizations.
Conceptually, the province thought that they would have these under one roof heart hubs with a one-stop service. It didn't make sense for us economically to do that because we have excellent service providers already with existing services and infrastructure. So it was a matter of augmenting them.
This government funding is going towards 16 treatment beds at Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare, 2 at the House of Sauf Racine, and 5 at Brentwood. Brentwood is also providing 8 interim transitional housing units, with a permanent number of units being announced once renovations are complete. And the Canadian Mental Health Association will provide permanent housing to an estimated 120 placements per year. President and CEO Bill Mara says the challenge is encouraging individuals to seek out the support voluntarily. His message to those who are hesitant is clear.
This is not a journey that you have to take on all on your own.
To make a referral, head to our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. The City of Windsor is taking the next step in its plan to boost housing supply, unveiling details of the next major development under its housing solution strategy. The $300 million investment by developer Shmuel Farhi would see 387 new residential units built in the downtown area. Now, there are 2 separate projects. The first one on Karen Avenue includes 3 mid-rise buildings, 200 units, ground floor commercial space and on-site parking. A second development on Riverside Drive West at Jeanette features 28-story residential tower with 187 units, including 4 penthouses and integrated commercial spaces. The projects mark the first major development partnership under the city's Housing Solutions Made for Windsor strategy. Construction on the Riverside Drive tower is expected to begin in 2026.
You're going to have a building that you're standing in Detroit, look forward into Windsor and be proud. It's going to be 28-story gorgeous building that you see in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and New York City.
Farhi noted during today's media event that he's also looking ahead to the future, wanting to build more housing across from the new hospital site. Now, Lakeshore Council last night pulling the plug on a controversial push to redevelop Oakwood Parkette.
Tonight's direction is intended to create a nice path, a clear path forward.
It was a packed house. The gallery at capacity as council revisited plans for the parkette. 6 delegates from the community speaking out against the development. The topic has been a hot one in recent weeks, with tempers boiling over at a public meeting late last week, and council paused the process pending the next council meeting. The Epstein files set for release, but how much will the Justice Department block? That's still ahead on Windsor's News Leader. Later, the top 10 stolen cars in Canada. Is your vehicle one of them? And tomorrow, a trade shortage and an EV revolution. Now students are getting real-world training at local dealerships. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. The bill to release the Epstein files is now in the hands of the U.S. president, following its sudden, swift passage through the U.S. Congress. CTV's Joy Malbin on the obstacles still ahead, even if Donald Trump signs the bill.
The Senate has passed the bill under unanimous
For these survivors, this was a long time coming, rejoicing after Congress voted overwhelmingly to force the Justice Department to release government files on Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
One of the best days of my life, to feel seen, validated, and heard for the first time.
It's been 5 administrations, almost 30 years of fighting this, and it's just, this is amazing.
It's estimated more than 1,000 girls were abused in Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking ring. The bill to release the records expected to be signed into law by the president, who for weeks resisted and has the power to do it now, but bristled when asked why he doesn't.
I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right.
The bill compels the Justice Department to make public the Epstein records within 30 days. But President Trump demanded new investigations that could delay or stop their release, singling out Democrats like former President Bill Clinton and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers when pressed on a timeline.
Information that has come for there's information, that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads.
Many of the survivors just want the truth to finally come out, asking the president for the complete release of all the Epstein-related files without delay or redactions. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
The chief financial officer for Canada Post says the company is effectively insolvent after it posted sharp losses of more than $1 billion in the first 9 months of this year alone. The Crown Corporation says it expects to lose up to 30,000 employees to retirement or voluntary departures over the next decade. It says declines in letter mail and labor disputes have put a strain on business. New stats show that car thefts in Canada are down unless you happen to be driving one of the most desirable models that criminals want. And one high-end SUV is particularly at risk. The RAV4 is currently the most stolen in Canada, followed by the Dodge Ram 1500 series, the Honda CR-V, the Ford F-150 series, and the Honda Civic. 2020 or newer models were particularly targeted among these vehicles. Despite a drop, auto theft continues to cost Canadians more than $1 billion in insurance claims each year. Mark your calendars. One of the most popular festive attractions starts next week.
Of course, I'm talking about Bright Lights Windsor, which is just around the corner. 2024 was an incredible year. This year promises to bring the magic once again.
Downtown Councillor Ronaldo Agostino kicking off the 2025 edition of the Light Festival. It starts next Friday with the official lighting ceremony. Bright Lights will run from 5:30 to 10 o'clock each night until January 7th. New this year, mobility tours, a daytime walking club, and free Wi-Fi. Go to ctvnewswindsor.ca for all the details. Markets on both sides of the border saw a rebound today. The TSX gained almost 250 points. In New York, the Dow gained 47, the Nasdaq was up 131. The dollar was down over 1/5 of a cent. Gold spiked over $16 an ounce, and oil dropped to $142 a barrel. Simple neck pain and suddenly a life or limb decision. Coming up, a rare infection that cost a Canadian woman her hands and feet.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. It's a beauty. Thanks to Tracy Montague for sending in this image. Just ahead, will showers be the weather story for late Thursday into Friday morning? We'll find out with my forecast next on CTV News Windsor.
Look at that gorgeous blue sky there. Sunshine all day. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the weather.
Sunshine definitely dominated much of southern Ontario. Ridge of high pressure across Ontario proper and a little bit further east. The worst weather is still to our northwest. Today we enjoyed a high of just shy of 7 degrees, 6.8 degrees Celsius. Our average high is a little bit lower again today, as to be expected, 7.5. So it was seasonably cool, but within the realm of what we would expect at this time of the year. Air quality was good, a 2. Yesterday was a 3. Anything from 1 to 3 is considered good. And that's been the trend of the last couple of weeks. 6 degrees or 43 degrees Fahrenheit under cloudy conditions now, both in Windsor-Essex and Chatham-Kent and the surrounds. What does it feel like? Well, a couple of degrees cooler than that, 4 degrees Celsius across the entire region where we are between Windsor-Essex, Chatham-Kent, and the surrounds. Vancouver is still warm. We'd expect that with the maritimity factor being close to a huge body of water like the Pacific Ocean, 10 degrees there. 5 in Calgary. We've seen some snow in parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and now that same system is moving across northwestern Ontario. A mix of rain and snow. It will stay, at least the snow, well to our north as it works its way west-east across northern central Ontario. We'll see increasing cloudiness tomorrow morning through the rest of the day. But for now, tonight is relatively quiet and mostly clear by the time we roll around to 8 p.m. Down to 2 degrees at that juncture. A clearing little patch there between 10 and midnight, down to 1 by midnight, or 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, down to about 0. Take a look at our Enercare 7-day forecast with highs and lows expected over the next 7 days. Cloudy tomorrow, high of 9. Above seasonal yet again for Friday, up to 12, but a 30% chance of very early morning showers. And then sunny for the weekend, 7 on Saturday, seasonal. Warmer, though, Sunday is sunny, high of 11. Then 10, 9, and 8, falling off a bit temperature-wise. Look at a fair weather Monday, Tuesday, some showers, and Wednesday, possibly rainy as well. That's a look at your weather.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
An Alberta woman is sharing her harrowing story of survival after contracting a rare infection that forced doctors to make a difficult choice. CTV's Kathy Lee on her message to others.
This is called a universal cuff.
A simple task most take for granted. Now, a symbol of Jane Haley's fight to reclaim her life after a rare infection not only took her hands,
It's like I got a text message,
but also her feet. The life-changing event started on August 24th when she experienced some neck pain.
the left side of my chest started hurting.
The 41-year-old went to the ER where her condition rapidly worsened. She ended up in a medically induced coma for 8 days. But when she woke up, her nightmare was far from over.
My hands were turning a different color. They were turning black.
Invasive Group A strep sent Haley's body into septic toxic shock, forcing doctors to make an unthinkable choice.
It came down to life or limbs, and they chose life, and I'm very grateful for that.
Group A strep often causes mild illnesses, but if it hits the bloodstream, it can lead to sepsis and even death. National data shows invasive Group A strep infections increasing over the last decade, with the highest totals in 2023 and 2024.
This is a global phenomenon that we're seeing these types of infections. People say, well, what could I have done to prevent it? And there really isn't much.
For Haley, there's still no clear source of her infection.
I had no idea that I was sick. I would just want people to know your body and listen to it.
The focus now, redefining her independence. And by her side, her mother, a constant source of strength. Together, they navigate this new reality.
I see a future where I will be back to normal. I do.
With courage and grace. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Edmonton.
There is concern in Canadian health circles about our country's ability to take advantage of new medications for Alzheimer's disease. With more on what's changing and the current issues in the system, here's Pauline Chan.
Last month, Health Canada gave approval for the first disease-modifying drug for Alzheimer's, lecanemab.
There's another in for approval, and so for the first time ever in Canada, we have some potential of disease-modifying therapies for people facing early Alzheimer's disease.
But provincial funding for the drug has yet to be settled, and there's another key roadblock to patients getting it. It's only useful for those in early stages of Alzheimer's, and you need a formal diagnosis.
Getting a diagnosis early in the disease progression is actually very challenging right now. Most people show up at primary care when the disease has progressed actually quite significantly. It's when it becomes a problem in people's daily life.
He's just tired. He works a lot.
When Lee Laforet's husband was seeking a diagnosis for his forgetfulness and confusion in 2016, they faced a lot of resistance.
They call it the longest goodbye for a reason. Because every day when you wake up, you don't know what you're going to get. We got the testing done, but we didn't know the results for 6 months because we couldn't get to see a neurologist.
Dr. Jaspreet Bangu says not only is there a shortage of knowledgeable family physicians, but new diagnostic methods on the horizon will mean an even greater need for specialists in the near future.
To detect amyloid via a blood test. It's a very exciting field that we're hoping will start to blossom and provide better access for patients in the next 5 to 10 years.
Right now, PET scans are the gold standard for diagnosis.
It's quite expensive, and there's not very many PET scanners. We only have about 40 in all of Canada. What's going to be important, though, is if patients don't have a way to access a provider, if we don't have enough providers who understand the symptoms and understand when to use the test, and then if we don't have enough specialists on the other end to provide the extra testing necessary, then we're going to have the bottlenecks we see now.
Dr. Bangu says right now, from testing to treatment can take 1.5 to 3 years, and that is precious time for families dealing with dementia. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A fight on the ice, but it wasn't the hockey players. Who was it? Find out. We're coming back with On the Sidelines.
Now we are joined with Mr. Bob Belichico with On the Sidelines tonight. And Bob, we are talking about football, volleyball, soccer. So let's start off with high school football.
Yeah, lots going on. Definitely a couple of blowouts last night at St. Clair College at Acumen Stadium. It was SWASA Championship night. I'll start with the Herman Green Griffins because I can't wait to show you this highlight. This touchdown is awesome.
This one is good for a Green Griffin touchdown.
I give Justin Finister a 10 after sticking that landing right there. Look at that form. And how about this hit by Tayshawn Tate? Registered 10 on the Richter scale. Ouch. Herman, 55-3 winners over Lambton Central from Petrolia. But I do have to give a shout out to the Lancers. They got smacked, but the defense on the sideline was cheering loudly, really loud in the last minute of the game.
It was nice that we finished the year on a win. But it wasn't fair to that team we were playing.
It's great, coming off of L to Holy Names. You win and you lose, but we got to come back, win the next battle. And today we won. It means a lot. Ending the year with the win, and we just got to set the tone for next year.
1, 2, 3, awesome!
Holy Names capped off the night at Acumen Stadium with a 42-28 win over Chatham's Ursuline College. Noah Hand and Ty Vittemore each scored a couple of touchdowns each. The Knights advanced to the OFSA Bowl. They play the hometown St. James Lions next Wednesday at the University of Guelph.
The key to victory was being more dominant than the other team. We had to be more physical. We had to dominate the line of scrimmage, in which the focus was running the ball and pounding away.
Studied the team hard, and we came out victorious. Proud of my team, proud of my coaches, every rep we do as a team.
Big kill right there. The Essex Red Raiders are in Aurelia for OFSA. Last week, they were losing the second set, 23-17. You'd think it's over by then against John McGregor, but they came back and won 34-32. Essex rode that momentum to easy victory in the third set and hope to continue that this week.
Against John McGregor at Swassa, we fell down in the second set. They're a really good team, and I think it was 22-15, and we came back to win like 32-30. So that's just something they've done all year. They never give up. They stick with it. They keep their composure, and that will definitely be needed at OFSA. So we're excited.
So last week you highlighted the men's volleyball team at the university, and you did say the girls' team was just as good.
They were good last week, and they're even better this week. Yeah, the women are doing really well, Stefanie. A weekend sweep against TMU last weekend has them at 6-0, their best start since 2009, so long ago. Like Essex, the Lancers came back from a big deficit. They were losing by 8, but with a veteran team, they showed the focus needed to make a run this spring. They came back and won that set. They have a good test coming up this weekend, though, on the road at Western.
We've been building this for like 4+ years. We have a very senior starting lineup right now, and we're highly motivated to win a championship this year. So we view every weekend as another notch in our belt towards that goal.
I think all of the big competitors in the league have split the weekend with Western. So I think this is the big test, is this weekend. If we can win both these games, it'll be really good for the program.
Now, the Spits have been rolling this year, but they did get a dose of reality last weekend.
Yeah, they lost both their games. They got knocked down in the CHL rankings 3 notches, actually. So now they are 6th in Canada right now. Head coach Greg Walters told me he gave the kids the weekend off last weekend, and they responded this week with a great week of practice. Busy weekend coming up this weekend. 3 games and 3 nights. The Spits host Saginaw Friday night before playing the Spirit on the road Saturday. Sunday, it's Guelph coming to town.
You know, we started the season from work ethic and defense first, and we lost that a little bit, and we lose 2 games. So we got to be connected. We got to be all on the same page, and we will be.
They'll be all right. And hey, don't forget to bring a teddy bear or 5 Sunday. It's Teddy Bear Toss Day. Last year, the Spits collected, get this, 3,900 bears for Sparky's Toy Drive. I know, right? Pretty good. So they'd like to get over 4,000 this year. If you can help out, that'd be awesome.
We're very happy to partner with Sparky's every year, and just delivering the toys to the firehouses and getting them distributed to all the kids locally makes a big impact. And you know, some kids go without toys, and this is one of the things that we can do as part of the OHL and our community impact, always improving our community impact, so it helps, everything helps.
Obviously a great charitable organization there.
Totally.
Finally tonight, a video that was sent to us. You can only describe it as shocking, really.
Yeah, it's kind of too bad that this kind of thing still happens in sports, but the video I'm about to show you right now is meant for you to look at with a critical eye. Now, out of respect, I'm leaving the names of the associations out. I don't think it's necessary. What is necessary, though, is the lesson to be learned right here. So check this out. This video, was sent to me anonymously. It shows 2 coaches going after each other on the ice. The reason really doesn't matter. This happened at a U13 game. Now, I reached out to the OMHA. They sent me a statement saying the incident is under investigation, and the bench staff from both teams have been suspended indefinitely. They add the situations like this have no place in minor hockey and do not respect or reflect the values of the OMHA. Now, I showed the video to Windsor Lancers head coach Kevin Hamlin earlier today. Here's what he said.
It's just horrifying when kids have to witness that. You know, you know, people that you trust to you know, to do the right thing. When you're at the rink, when they go sideways like that, it has a damaging effect on our kids, and you know, people have to be more aware of that.
Now, I had one of the presidents of the associations that I won't name. She asked why we're going to do, or how I'm going to approach doing the story, and I said, the bottom line here is that we just need to be reflective. No names necessary, no associations need to be, you know, outed, but I think it's just a moment for us to reflect on what we're doing here
And
in
what you-
sports, and as fans and as coaches.
And as you mentioned, the reasoning behind it doesn't matter either. Yeah, completely unacceptable. Coaches are supposed to be, one of the ultimate role models.
Remember that movie, Bad Boys 2?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence's character needed to take a chill pill, and he would go, "Woosah." Yeah. Woosah, people.
Yeah, take
not
a
that
breath
bad.
before any action happens.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob Belichico on the sidelines for us tonight. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Cans for a Cause is back for its 22nd year.
Join us as we broadcast live from Devonshire Mall.
We'll be collecting cash and non-perishable food items for the Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
We need your help, generosity, and goodwill.
Visit us online for more information.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Windsor Light Music Theater presents Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with ASL Interpretation November the 21st. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, let's talk some more about the passing of Bill 33 today.
Yes, Stephanie, local school board trustees tell us they're worried about the future of public education. The bill, as previously mentioned, gives us the Minister of Education sole discretion to take over or supervise a school board at the provincial level. It would mean trustees would no longer have a role. While local school boards wait to see if Bill 33 will impact them, trustees say they'll continue to focus on student success and staff supports. If the province is going to shake up its education governance model, Catholic School Board Chair Lisa Soulier still wants to be a part of that conversation.
It would be wonderful to be included in conversations around what that could look like. And I think to date, provincially, our association hasn't been engaged to provide any input, and I don't think that trustees have been engaged either to provide any input.
Our online coverage of this story delves into how new legislation differs from the old. It's at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Okay, and we also have a map online, Melanie, to help get us into the Christmas spirit.
Yes, if you're looking to find holiday lights across the region, this should help. We put together a map featuring local festive displays. If you'd like to submit your location to the map, you can send your address and photos to newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400. You can also click the link on our website. And in our social spotlight, remember the Slinky toy? Check out these moves. Well, apparently they can do more than just walk downstairs. Look at these two slinky masters. And this video got over 57 million views. Stephanie.
I am not surprised. That's very, very intense. He's very, very talented. You know, the Slinky's such a classic toy.
Yeah, must have taken them a long time to practice those moves.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. Okay, thank you, Melanie. It could be a first in the wild when we return. Crab traps pulled from the water by wolves, and the remarkable behavior is caught on camera. Just gorgeous out there today. But Gary, I know a lot of people are focusing. Friday night is the Tecumseh Santa Claus Parade.
Well,
Break it to
temperatures
us.
should be relatively mild for this time of the year. We're going to see a bit of a surge, actually, in terms of temperatures. Clouding over late tonight, we'll see about a 20% chance of a very light dusting of showers. And the rain issue really isn't that much of a big deal, but if we do see it, we'll see it late Thursday night, overnight into Friday morning while most of us are asleep. But look at these temperatures, 9, then 12 the next 2 days. Weekend is sunny, 7 and 11. Saturday and Sunday respectively, and then 10, 9, and 8 with increasing cloudiness Tuesday and Wednesday with passing showers. So we are in a bit of a warm spot much colder temperatures towards the end of the month.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Gary. Travis, tonight we are heading to Lakeshore.
We are. There is a big boost coming for local cancer research in Lakeshore. The Lakeshore Lightning U11s, Spitz defenseman Carson Woodall, all those fundraising all-stars are coming together, and it adds up to a lot of money for the WeSpark Institute. We'll show you the total tonight at 11.
Okay, thank you, Travis. Now take a look at this. It started as a mystery. Baited crab traps were being tampered with, and no one knew how or who was doing it. So researchers with the University of Alberta set up motion-activated cameras along the shoreline. Now, it wasn't poachers or bears, it was wolves grabbing the lines with their teeth and pulling the traps straight out of the water. The wolves can be seen shaking, cracking, and tearing open the cages and then enjoying the crabs on the inside. The researchers think it may be the first documented example of tool use by wild wolves, revealing an unexpected intelligence hidden in the tides of the BC coast. Researchers say they're continuing to monitor the wolves to see whether this behavior spreads to other packs. Interesting.
Yeah, look, I know Dino would fit right in this group because food motivation is huge with dogs, right? Fascinating to see it, but I think cats, goodness, they probably throw a line and reel in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's fascinating to see.
Yeah,
Very
intelligent.
Yeah, incredibly smart. That's awesome.
Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
I'll be back with your only late local newscast with Gary on the weather tonight at 11.
Good night.